they did at the top of the draft. Tampa Bay traded down to the 12th pick, still got the big defensive tackle they coveted in Washington's hulking Vita Vea. The Saints made a move up to the 14th pick, taking defensive end Marcus Davenport. Both Carolina and Atlanta went wide receiver with its top picks. The Panthers got DJ Moore, 24th overall. And 2 picks later, the Falcons couldn't believe Alabama's Calvin Ridley was still on the board. As far as each team's big veteran acquisition, the Bucs got theirs when they traded with the Giants for Jason Pierre-Paul. Atlanta's biggest pickup was guard Brandon Fusco, who started all 16 games last year in San Francisco. New Orleans signed linebacker Demario Davis, and Carolina got defensive tackle Dontari Poe. Both players signed 3-year deals with their teams. Let's run through these. Tim, best veteran newcomer in the NFC South.
Yeah, this time I'll pick off the list. I'll go with Jason Pierre-Paul. You know, I think change of scenery probably will do him good. You know, going to Tampa, we already have talent on that defense, especially on that defensive line with McCoy. And so I think just the opportunity to have as many one-on-one matchups as you can. And then you also look at the division, especially with, you know, some of the traditional offenses facing good quarterbacks. I think that's the one that you really have to look at.
Jeff, which NFC South rookie will have the biggest impact?
Let's stay right there in Tampa Bay. Ronald Jones II. I was told by somebody in the organization that this guy is a home run hitter. They feel like they got a really good pick here. Peyton Barber might be the guy that ultimately is the starter at running back. But all you fantasy footballers, listen to this one. Home run hitter, he's going to be the guy to get you the touchdown.
Schefter drafted him today on the mock draft.
There you go, Adam. Good
Adam, biggest question mark among any NFC South team.
The Buccaneers run defense, 32nd in the NFL last year. And you saw how much that team emphasized its front during the draft, during free agency. All the players they went out and got. They imported half of Philadelphia's defensive line to come play in Tampa. This is a unit that must step up. If the Buccaneers defense can improve and get better, well, then when Jeff Darlington fills out their score sheet,
we'll get
it could be a dramatic jump.
You even scooped me on Ronald Jones. You're unbelievable.
Really did.
That's crazy.
Never too early to make predictions. We have last season's records, so where do you think they go from here?
Well, we'll start with the Saints, and the theme here, we'll get to it eventually, but we're gonna take one off. I know they had an excellent season, and they've got a really good running back or running duo, and the quarterback in Drew Brees. I just think that this division as a whole is going to, as we get to it, create a major logjam. So let's get to the Panthers, right?
Yes.
-2. So they're also going to come down, and somewhere we're going to eat this thing out. I just think the Panthers, again, are going to face a division, and we're going to get down to that Buccaneers team that has the players to add some of the momentum in this division and cost some of these teams some wins and losses. But I will say the Falcons, with that 10 wins, will get back to that identity of 2 years ago. Julio Jones is in a good place with this team. I know we were a little scared about that for a while, but I'm told that he is in a good place with the Falcons team at this point. I think Matt Ryan and Julio Jones will figure out that offense in his second year in that system and do a pretty good job there. And now, Adam, we get to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The question here, first of all, I'm going to add 4 wins to that total.
Whoa.
Okay, so we're going to get them all the way up to a 9-win team. And I say that because they had the players last year. They added it to it with a guy like JPP. The defense is a question mark, but if they can get the coaching to come up, step up, Nick Smith as the defensive coordinator, Dirk Cutter in there, if they can get the coaching to get them some wins, they've got the players. They had the players this past year to do it. It was a supreme disappointment. That is the team for me to watch with the big bounce.
You scooped me there, because I was going to tell you, they may have been the most disappointing team in the NFL last year.
They were a hot team a year ago. Hot team a year.
There were a lot of
people. And the expectations were so high.
Here's the thing. I don't think that we were that far off in our preseason assessment expecting that out of them. I think that they were truly an underachieving team that has the personnel to be successful.
You think a year ago, you know, Doug Martin ended up being kind of a disappointment.
That's right.
That. I think some people thought that maybe he had kind of turned the corner and things would be different. And then Jameis Winston, quite honestly, he didn't play that great.
He was hurt, you know? A good part
and I
of the
think
season.
that's right to say. And I think he can play great. I think that he can be an excellent starter. His change in play could impact it quite a bit. I see them beating up on each other more than having multiple 10-win teams. And
you think it's still the logjam, just a lower win percentage?
I mean,
I don't even know if mathematically that's possible.
It might not be. It might not be.
My general goal here was to show that I really do think in the NFC South that we're going to see a logjam of teams trying to.
So we've got a logjam in the AFC South and a logjam in the NFC South, and that's just the way But the NFL Live.
That's it, in the NFL.
Right.
That is exactly right.
Interesting reunion for Steve Sarkisian and Calvin Ridley from their time in Bama. So now you put the kind of the Bama brothers together at wide receiver. That offense could be dynamic.
Yeah, Sarkisian, though, that's a big key because they were really good with Kyle in there a couple years ago.
All right, a little more to do here on NFL Live. When we come back, tomorrow, don't forget, don't miss the AFC and the NFC West. That's tomorrow on NFL Live. Who will have the biggest impact of all in Gruden's biggest moves, and an early look at the totally revamped defense for the LA Rams. That's tomorrow on NFL Live. Now our final stop, Jason Witten. He's going to step to the podium where he will announce his retirement. Our final thoughts on number 82's illustrious career.
You have a vision. It's behind everything.